Hey guys, this is Sparkle Sultry here, and this is my new What If. What if Asta had Akaza abilities? The badass of all time. And I hope you like this video, and hope you subscribe. After Akaza has destroyed his body by not wanting to live anymore, he goes into the afterlife, and he looks at his father in his human state, saying, "I'm sorry," and crying out his tears. Seeing his father in the afterlife, didn't want to see his father so sad or anything. He just wanted him to be better. But his father says, "Hakuji, don't worry. It's not your fault. You don't need to blame yourself, son. I forgive you." And Koji was in his human state, and then he sees his master, Kezu, and Akaza Hikochi, his name, sees him, and couldn't even look at it for a second for what he's done. Kezu says, "Hey, Hikochi, what's the matter?" And then Hikochi looks at him in a look of despair, of sadness on what he'd done. And then Kezu says, "I know what you did, but don't worry about it. I'm not angry. You're forgiven." And Hikoji was surprised on the forgiveness, but it's not surprising from his master. He's happy to see his master smiling, but then one last person, his fiancée. Hikoji goes in a flowery garden looking at Kezu, and Kezu looks at Hikoji. Both look at each other, and Hikoji then was on the ground with his knees, apologizing. He didn't want any of that. He didn't want that. Everything was so happy, but before then they died. I couldn't even. Hikoji cried, and Kezu walks toward Hikoji, or Akaza, and she gave a loving embrace to see her fiance, and says, "I know, I'm sorry that happened, Hikoji." And Hikoji says, "No, Hikoji trying to say the words that he wants to say, but Kezu says, "I know, I always will love you, no matter what happens, even if it's in hell together." And Kuchi sees his fiance, and both gave a loving embrace, both hugging each other to hell. And then we see Akaza's body destroyed in the demon slayer. The one who saw was Tanjiro Kamada. But sometimes not all things will turn out expected. But then Akaza's soul has transferred into a different place. And then Akaza Hikoji was changed, and he goes into a new world that is far different from his other world. And then we hear two babies crying out, being near to a church. And then the church's door opens, and the priest Arai sees two baby boys. One was Yuna, and the other, with pink hair and blue eyes, was Asta. And then Arai looks at the baby boys' names, and the first was Yuno, and with his necklace around him. And Orion says, Yuno. And looking at the other baby boy with his shivering fear, but also a very look of holding someone. And then Orion says, Asta. And Orion thinks, it reminds me of something. Well, I guess he doesn't want anyone to leave him. And then Orion smiles and says, "Don't worry, Asta. No one will leave you." He's tickling Asta a bit And when Asta was getting tickled on the foot, Asta gives out a little laugh and then gives a powerful kick out of happiness, kicking Priest Orion's face. Oh, wow, you have some strength there, Asta. And Orion then gets up and sees Asta and Yuno. And then he takes them in the church of Clover Village. After 5 years have gone by, Asta was in a good look of happy that he has a place that he can call his home, and sees that the church was very nice, even though they tend to mock him with no magic on that. But Asta doesn't care about him having magic. What he cares about is that no one is hurt and no one is ever taken away from him. But then Yuno has gone back to the Clover Village town, and Asta says, "Oh, Yuno, you're back." And Yuno then walks with a sad look on his stoic face, and Asta says, "Hey, Yuno, are you okay?" And Yuno says, "Yeah, fine." And Asta says, "You're not looking like it." And then Yuno says, "Yeah, I'm alright, Asta." Then Asta looks at him closely and checks the backside of his neck. He gives a sigh of this, and Asta then takes a deep breath. "So, who took it?" And Yuno says, "I don't want to tell." And Asta says, "Who took it? Is it those punks again? I swear, I'll beat them." Then Asta thinks about it for a second. "Damn it." Then Yuno says, "No, it's men that took it." And Asta's hands turned into a fist, and then says, "Alright, I'll get it back for you." And then Yuno says, "No, Asta, it's two." And Asta then says, "Don't worry about me." And Yuno says, "Asta, you're too blunt." And Asta says, "If somebody messes with my family, my concern, then they mess with me." And Yuno says, "Damn it, Asta, listen." And Asta says, "Why?" Looking at him with a look of seriousness. And Asta says, "Don't worry, I'll make sure I won't go too far." And Yuno says, "That's not what I mean." And then Asta says, "Whatever." And Asta then thinks for a second. "I know what you mean as well." And then Asta goes and finds the men that took Yuno's necklace and found them in the town. And Asta then walks towards them. And the man says, "Look at this. This'll make a good cash out of this." And when the men were going to pawn it on Yuno's necklace, Asta then runs at them. And when the man hears the footsteps coming from a distance close to him, he then sees a kick to the face to him. And Asta says, "You messed with the wrong person to have stealing from someone that knows him." And the men tried to use their magic on Asta, but Asta's strength and fist fighting were taking the men with no easing up on them. And Asta beating down to a very pulp. And Asta says, "Give me that." Grabbing the man from Yuno's necklace and says, "Don't underestimate my friend, pal." And Asta then has a nosebleed. And Asta then looks at it and says, "Damn it." And then Asta walks back to the church and gives his necklace back. It's snowing. Asta doesn't know why, but he likes the snowflakes. It just reminds him of something. And then we get 10 years have gone by. And Asta were focusing on their own thing. Asta helping out with the church stuff and doing his own routine of his fighting style. And, helping as well the church stuff, but also using his magic. But Asta was doing his somewhat of a martial art that he doesn't know. But he's putting his fist out and doing Kia! Yeah! Throwing some punches each time with each shout from it. And doing a kick around each shadow boxing method that he felt. And feeling like he could absolutely do these martial arts without knowing what it is. Asta then takes a deep breath. Okay, now Asta then stomps his leg on the ground and breaking the ground, and then red markings come out and making a similar signature to a snowflake. And Asta was at awe. And then it turns into blue, glowing, and Asta says, this is interesting. I think I'll call it compass needle. Then Asta felt a little sense of aura around, of will, And then he looks and sees Yuno. And Yuno says, hey there, Asta. Still short as always. Then Asta says, tricky words, string bean. And then Yuno says, alright, it's time to get going. It's time to eat meals. And Asta says, alright. And both Asta and Yuno their meals with in the church. And both are getting ready to get their grimoires. Asta doesn't care because he knows he won't get it, but it's worth a try with him. And then we get a night terror of his dreams. Asta, and feeling all the fears coming in his nightmares. No, I won't let you take them anymore. No. Dying in front of him. Asta then wakes up and sees that all of the church is fine. Even Sister Lily and Father Orion was fine. Even Asta says, God, I hate nightmares. Then Asta and go to get their grimoires. Both and Asta got to the grimoire. And then all of the villagers got a grimoire except for Asta. Got a 4-leaf clover grimoire, as in canon. But Asta says, oh well, it wasn't really that surprising. All of the people laugh at him, mocking him, saying, he doesn't even have magic or a grimoire. He's such a pathetic loser. All of them were mocking Asta. Asta heard those comments and doesn't pay attention to them. He just does not care. But when Asta was out, when he was leaving them, not paying attention, Asta looks at his hand and thinks. But then something comes out of his head. His mind thinks back. Why? And then flashes of a person saying these words. Set your heart ablaze. Make your own path. And choose your desire. And help those that you care for. A figure with red and yellow hair was flashing in his memories. Why? Why do I remember that? Then Asta smirks, says, Then Asta goes to find Then he sees Ravage Silic taking Yuno's grimoire, having his chains around Yuno. And Asta looks at Ravage Silic and then says, "Hey! What are you doing to him?" And Ravage Silic looks at Asta and says, "Get away from here, you peasant. This is business." And Asta says, "What are you doing to Yuno?" And then Asta charges at Ravage Silic. Ravage Silic said, "Mere magicless loser like you could not even handle," when he used his chain magic to ensnare Asta. Asta then uses his fist to shatter that with one punch through the chains. And Ravage Silic says, "What the hell?" Then Asta goes for a kick to incapacitate Ravage Silic. But then Asta hesitates. Is it really gonna work? Damn it. Why am I thinking this now? I usually fight anyone, but I never fought. Feeling a chain around him and gets pushed back and chained to a wall. And Ravage Silic says, "Figures. A mere peasant like you couldn't even handle me." And Ravage Silic thinks, "Damn it, nearly lost that to a mere peasant. Do you know why I took a valuable grimoire?" And Asta says, "No, but I don't care. I'll get it back to Yuno." Ravage Silic says, "This is more high grade for nobles than a mere peasant. I could get paid for that with a right deal." And Asta says, "Give it back, or I'll beat the living crap out of you." And then Ravage Silic says, "Arrogant punk, you should know your place." Then Ravage Silic uses his chains to attack Asta to silence him. But then Asta flashes back to his memories from thinking of the man's words. "Set your heart to blaze in battle. Don't hold anything regard. Keep your passion to yourself and hold yourself proud. Keep others safe and let the flames rise." And Asta opens his eyes, realize, "I'll set my heart ablaze." And then he breaks out of the chains, but not his strength, but his grimoire. Asta sees his grimoire, a black grimoire, and it was a 5-leaf clover. And Asta sees it, and then the black grimoire, a poe, gives Asta anti-magic. Asta gets close to the grimoire and touches. Asta felt something unique. His hands come like black, rigid steel. His body felt much heavier. And Asta says, "Anti-magic." Then Asta felt something similar. Then Ravage Silic was surprised, angered. How can a peasant get a grimoire like that? That's impossible! Like a loser like you that doesn't have magic? That's impossible! And Asta says, "Shut up. I'll beat your ass!" Asta then puts a stance up, compass needle. And then his signature technique has appeared. Then Ravage Silic says, "We'll work on this!" All the chains come forth and try to overwhelm Asta. But Asta just merely evades, one head away from the first chain, and the other dodging with a slight movement from the other chains, second and third. Then Asta moves in tandem to the chains, the fourth and fifth. Ravage Silic says, "What? That's impossible! No, I'll use..." But then Asta says, "I haven't used this. You were wondering how I could attack you, so breaking the chains. This." And Asta then moves his fist in tandem to his own movements. Airtight anti-magic punches, and Asta swings his fist, and anti-magic merged with a shockwave of air conductive with his punch. And Rich Silic says, "What? I can see the darkness, but I can't." And Ravage Silic felt the punch, and that air from what he felt, I couldn't even see it. Then Asta was in front of it, says, "Never come close to my family again." And having his fist hand near to Ravage Silic's gut, and then his fist moved ever slightly, and a short inch punch sends him flying. Ravage Silic gets hit to the wall, and the wall breaks, and Ravage Silic says, "What? I had my chains around my weight. Anti-magic. I couldn't." Ew. Ravage Silic passes out, and Asta's anti-magic disappears. Asta smiles, seeing that, grabs Yuno's grimoire, gives it to Yuno, and Yuno says, "My, you have a interesting technique you call Asta." And Asta says, "Looks like you needed help, I thought you were stronger." And Yuno says, "Well, you just sneaked attacked me, surprised me. I wouldn't count that as a fight." And Asta says, "Whatever." Getting Yuno up and giving his grimoire back. And Yuno looks at Asta and says, "Asta, I want you to be my rival." And Asta says, "Huh?" And Asta smiles on hearing that. Don't you want to be a Wizard King, And Yuno says, "Yeah, but it was also your dream as well, Asta. Treating people as equal. I heard that from your dreams, Asta. I had some flashes, wanting people to equal rights, commoners, nobles. It doesn't matter. So, I'll be your rival, And both shake hands and have a great friendship and camaraderie. And that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. See you next time.